Welcome guys, this is Music Industry Interviews episode 2. I have got a very special guest this week, so please, special guest, introduce yourself.
Yo, hello. My name is Sam. I go under the artist name Sam Helix, and I'm a DJ producer, artist coach, A&R manager, and yeah, all that good stuff.
So you've just said there that you're an A&R manager.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What is that role? What do you do in that role?
An artist and repertoire manager is what it stands for. So it basically is a person at a record label or a company who gets to choose which artists and which songs get put out on the label. So it's basically, my function is basically I'm like a filter for, all the songs get sent to me.
All the good and bad songs.
Exactly. So I basically filter all the good and bad songs, and the good songs are sent through to the next person.
So who are you an A&R person for?
I'm working for TeamMBL at this point. I'm sure quite a lot of people know this.
Yeah, definitely. So how did you get into the music scene and why?
It's actually quite a funny story. It all started with my dad. My dad and my mom are both musicians, so they kind of introduced me to making music and the whole concept of it. So when I was 8, I started playing guitar. So my dad started teaching me. Then I started really taking guitar classes. So that's how I kind of got into music. But the thing is, I think I was 14, 15, and I had this friend in class who could use his laptop in class, but no one else could. But because he had dyslexia or something, he could use his laptop. So one day I was sitting next to him, I was like, yo, why do you get to use your laptop? I started talking to him, and he started producing in class. And I was like, oh, that's great. What are you doing? That looks awesome. So, we became friends, and we started.
What was he producing on?
He was just using FL Studio. So, yeah, that was great. That's how I got into whole electronic music. So
then you just started picking it up yourself?
Yeah, we started. We became a duo, and we started making music together.
Oh, you became a duo with him?
Yeah. It was great.
Have you got any tracks out under YouTube or not?
Yeah, we do. It's quite embarrassing because we both just started, but it was fun.
Yeah,
it was
but everyone's tracks are sort of the same quality at the start, aren't they? So.
Yeah, but it's great.
As you've progressed from when you started making music to now, who has been your inspiration?
My inspiration? It's kind of interesting. I think mainly back then, the Spinnin' guys, back when Martin Garrix was signed to Spinnin' and Jay Hardway, stuff like that, all those guys who started working together, that was just when Animals got released. So I was that was used inspiration for me back then. That's what I really liked. Julian Jordan, all those guys working together, signed to their Spinnin'.
So you DJ and produce, yep?
Yes, I do.
What is the hardest thing you found about those two things?
DJing or producing?
Both. Which one? Hardest at either?
I think the hardest thing in producing is, I guess, finding a catchy melody, Things like mixing, you can learn. But the whole songwriting process behind it, that's all purely creative.
Yeah, that's what I lack. I lack the creative producing side. I'm in a duo with Jack, and I'm trying to learn the mixing side so we can both bring our strengths to the table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because mixing is basically, it's you call it physics in English, I think.
Yeah, it's like a science, isn't it?
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's it's a science. So you can actually learn that. And I think in DJing, the most difficult thing is actually reading the crowd, see what they want, see what they're feeling, see what not. I feel like a lot of people lack that as well. A lot of DJs are not really looking at that, and they just play what they want to play.
Yeah, they just play what they want, don't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So having your own sound is very important if you want to stand out in this industry. Would you say you have your own sound?
I'd say I'm kind of developing it right now. I'm finding that sound. I used to just copy whatever I thought was cool, and I would try to get as close as possible and see how I can use it in my own songs. But right now I'm working on some songs that I think are quite unique.
Right. Okay.
Of course, they still fall into a genre, but it has my own twist to it.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
So, apart from your own sound, what else would you do to make yourself stand out to labels?
I think it really depends on which label you're aiming for,
Okay.
Because like bigger labels, they're just all about things like social media followers.
Yeah, I have heard about that before, which is a bit of a shame.
It's a shame, but it's a very big part of being a producer / DJ nowadays is
You're a
just
brand, aren't you?
getting your social media straight, get your branding straight, That's how you are different from other people, show who you are. And yeah, I think that's a really important factor to it right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. So from your releases, I've noticed you've done quite a few collabs.
Yes, I love doing collabs. It's great.
Well, that's my question. How do you find doing them? Easy, hard, frustrating at the other person?
It really depends on who I work with, but
So you have
found that
frustrating collabs.
Well, yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating, But I found that making sure that you don't juggle the project, between the two of you, if that happens too much, it gets really frustrating because someone changes something and then something doesn't render correctly, something like that. So usually I just get someone's song and I finish it, or I make a song and they finish it and we just send it over once,
Oh, so you'd rather do half and half each or something?
Exactly. And then we keep talking, of course, on Discord or something. We just make like little tweaks and we both have our own input, but not actually sending the project back and forth too often. I think that's a really, like, if you do that, it gets really frustrating.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you do the collabs? Would you export the stems or save it all in a Dropbox or what?
It really depends on which DAW they work, The easiest thing, if they work on the same DAW as I do, I just send them the project file and they can start working on it. But if they're in a different DAW, I just give them the stems. They keep working on it. And if they need anything changed or edited, I send it again. Yeah.
Which DAW do you use?
I use FL Studio still, but I also use Ableton. If I do vocal recordings, I use Ableton because I really like the workflow there. For the rest, FL Studio. It's just it's just what I'm used to.
Is that what you prefer to use overall, or would you change to Ableton full time?
I've used a lot of different DAWs actually. I've used Ableton. I've used Adobe Audition. Cubase, yeah, I was in Cubase 8, I think, back when I was like a kid. I tried to put like loops together, stuff like that. But I found that FL Studio is it's so convenient for me, and the hotkeys, I know all of them. And
yeah, that makes such a difference for the efficiency of the track, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really clean. It's really clear to see what you're doing, and if someone sends you a project, you instantly know what's going on. So that's what I really like about it.
I always found the automation very difficult in FL Studio.
Really?
Yeah, because it makes a separate track, doesn't it?
Right.
I couldn't get my head around it, but then on Ableton, I just found it so much easier.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, it's very similar actually to Ableton in FL, but it's just takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, definitely. So why Sam Helix? Is that your last name, or is that just something you came up with?
No, it's not my last name. I think I did 3 other projects before this. So I did 2 duos, and I did once I was under a different solo name. And after the second duo kind of stranded, like my friend, he wanted to do more like hip hop and R&B and stuff like that. I was like, that's great. That's fine. So I just needed a new name for that, and then I wanted something future.
Are you still doing that now?
No.
No, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I needed a new name. I wanted to make Future House, so it's like it needs to be futuristic, or at least something like, technology based or something. And then my dad actually came up with the name Sam Helix. I was like, oh,
it does flow off the tongue very nicely.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's very easy to remember. So it was really great. Yeah.
I did see your logo, by the way. I was very impressed with it, I must say.
The new one with the fingerprint.
The new one. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
That's all right. So what's your biggest highlight of your career from your how many years of doing this now?
Ooh, 5 years already. Damn. The biggest highlight. There's so many. There's been so many great things. I think the big highlights are things like Amsterdam Dance Event and Dance Fair.
Oh, well, okay. What's your involvement there?
Uh, the thing there is that you actually get to meet people who are like, I remember the first time me going to Amsterdam Dance Event last year. I was like, and people just came up to you. You're Sam, right? I was like, how do you know? How do you know who I am? I love that.
You're famous, mate.
I love stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, you do stuff for TeamMBL. I was like, yeah. So that's great. People just like talking to people. I think that's my favorite thing about it. Like
it's a good community, isn't it? I have noticed that.
Yeah. But other than that, I think a very like honorable mention was when last year I went to Sweden to play a show, and that was really funny.
Really?
That was it was great. I was in Stockholm. I have a few friends there. One of my friends did like an event, and I was playing there. It was fun. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done, mate.
Thanks.
So how did you come to get involved with TeamMBL then? Because we're on the producers team,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had a demo drop session where you give us feedback.
Yeah.
So how did you come to get involved with MBL?
It's really funny. I think 2 years ago I was in a music school here in the Netherlands, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. I got so much feedback from my teacher, from my classmates, and after I finished that course, I kind of felt like I missed something. So I started looking online for that, and I found TeamMBL. So I initially just became a part of the producer team just to get that feedback and talk to the community.
So were you one of the originals?
I don't know if I was one of the originals. I think I hopped on pretty early,
Yeah. Because I think it's been going a couple of years now.
Yeah. I think 3 years already. So I think I joined like 2 years ago, or like 1.5. And I remember just for half a year, like going every Sunday and giving everyone feedback, making sure like I was one of the people who just gave everyone feedback because I really like giving feedback to people as well, because I learned from that. And then one day Lucas, he DM'd me on Instagram. It's like, yo, I love how you like give everyone feedback, how much a lot about different genres and mixing and stuff like that. Do you want to do a bit of work for us? I was like, yeah, sure, that's awesome. So we kind of started texting, and I kind of rolled into it that way, like Song of the Week. I already knew what Song of the Week was, and I already knew how TeamMBL worked. So that was, yeah, I guess that was kind of awesome.
See, putting in the effort pays off.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just dedication, I guess.
Right, so a big question. Whereabouts are you in your career right now?
Ooh, that's difficult to say, because you don't know where the end is, you know where you started, but you don't know where the end is.
True.
But I feel like I just this year I started getting signed to a few smaller labels like Future House Cloud, stuff like that.
Yep.
Future House and Deep, and I got a lot more songs coming up, a lot more collabs.
So
to be honest, I got a lot more collabs coming up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and right now I'm in university still, so I'm kind of keeping it like I want to do like 5 to 10 releases per year at least, and then after that, I'm planning on stepping up my game.
What are you studying at university?
I study media and entertainment management. So
that's gonna help massively with what you want to do.
Of course. Yeah, I am gonna do I'm gonna do my internship next year at Moti's label Zero Cool, so that's gonna be awesome as well.
Really?
So I'm gonna get a lot of field experience through that, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. They basically at my school they teach you to be like a film producer or A&R manager, stuff like that. You can do so many things, so that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you do DJ as well, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Do
you still get nervous before you play?
I don't. Yeah, like healthy nerves, you know? I used to be nervous for like the whole day when I had to play, but now it's just like the last 5 minutes, you know, when you're like next to the
Yeah, when
stage,
you're
you're
ready to
like,
go
oh,
on.
I'm ready. But it's all good, you know? And as soon as I start playing, that kind of goes away, especially if there's like friends in the crowd. I'm like, yo, what's up? So I like that.
What's the biggest crowd that you've played to then?
Oh, mm, I think it was New Year's 2017 to 2018. Um, it was I had to play in a boat, so it was like
Oh
basically this
wow.
boat going through the river. Um, and we have in Rotterdam. I don't know if you know the city, but we have this big bridge where there's a huge fireworks show at New Year's. So the boat went through the river up to the bridge at the fireworks show, and they went back. You know, and I had to DJ on that boat. That was great. And we're like a few hundred people there, so it was a lot of fun. It was great.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What year was that, sorry? 2017 to 18?
Yeah.
So we got a couple of questions from fans.
Really awesome.
The first question was, what's your best tip or best couple of tips on becoming a better producer?
Ooh, best tips. Okay, I got two tips. One is really, really look at like I said, the physics. It's physics, yeah, it's physics side of things. So really look at frequencies and learn how that all works. I
Yeah.
think that was one of the big breakthroughs for me. Like after that, I started learning so much quicker because it all
Yeah,
made
fully
sense.
understanding sound.
Yeah, yeah. Understand how sound works. Understand how music works. Stuff like that. It's really interesting. It's really fun.
And like filling all the frequencies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really going to help you. And I think for more beginners, one tip is to just do a lot of remakes because it really teaches you to listen to songs, and it really teaches you to listen what elements are where in a song. So,
Very good advice. I like that one.
hey, awesome.
The other question we got is, what are your top 3 plugins that you use?
My top 3 plugins.
If you can narrow it down, that is.
Yeah, exactly. I use so many. Damn. I think one of them is definitely Center by Waves. It's so good. Um, I love it. It's not just a stereo imager, so it just actually enhances your sound. I like that one. Crush I use. It's free, so Crush with a K. Definitely look that one up. It's free, so why not use it? It's a really good saturation plugin.
Ah, right, Saturator.
Yeah. And then think Fab Filter Pro Q. I guess it's my favorite. It's my favorite EQ. It's
Ah,
great.
yeah, everyone loves that one.
Yeah.
So you have released a few tracks. Would you say Backseat is your biggest one?
It's the biggest one right now. Yeah, especially plays wise, it's great, and yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's doing a lot better than I expected. It's at like 20,000 total streams or something. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Was that a collab?
it's a collab. Yeah, it's a collab that's been going for like a long time. I made it like a year ago, and yeah, it took a while to get released, but it's great.
It's worth the effort though after it has been released.
Yeah, exactly.
So how would you deal with writer's block
Ooh, ooh, that's a really good question.
if you deal with it?
I guess I don't really deal with it. I just, I think,
Are you really stubborn and persist, or do you go away and just come back to it?
yeah, I think I'm more like that, you know? I think I just go like do something else, hang out with friends. Like, I'm like, okay, there's no inspiration right now. Why would I try to force it, you know? So, but one of the things you can I guess, do to deal with it is make sure you always have enough tracks ready, you know? Because
Right.
if you have a few songs that are going to be released, you don't have that pressure. And oftentimes when I'm under pressure, I don't get any like creative input.
Yeah, you don't perform as well.
Exactly. And if you think like, oh yeah, I still have 2 releases coming up, so I get 2 months, don't worry.
Yeah, pressure's off.
It comes, yeah, exactly.
What do you do when you start a track? How do you begin?
Oh, that's a good one. It really depends per track. I usually just I really like I see it as like online shopping. I just go on Splice and I just go through cool sounds, you know. And if I find a cool sound, I usually base a song off of a cool sound or a cool sample, and from there I build it. So I really like that. And I also really like percussion. So sometimes I just make a drop without a lead or without a bass or anything. I just make the percussion. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
And then what would you do after that? Chords, lead, bass?
Yeah, bass usually. I think that's cool because if you have like how I usually think of a track is like a track has to be really catchy even without the lead. So if you just have your drop percussion and your bass, it already has to sound cool. And if that doesn't sound cool, the track's not cool.
I think it's very much overlooked having the drums there and the percussion in place and the bass, because people just go chords, leads, and go from there.
Exactly.
But what I think you've said is very insightful into actually making a track.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I love percussion, so I use it a ton. So yeah.
Brilliant. What is your end game, your end goal? Where do you want to be?
Oh, where do I want to be?
Actually, what's your end game and where do you want to be 5 years from now?
5 years from now. Damn, 5 years from now.
Because it is a slow process in this industry.
Yeah, exactly. I think definitely one of the things I want to do is like, of course, like play Tomorrowland. That's a very obvious thing, you know. That's something I really want to do. That would be really just such good fun. But other than that, like making music wise, I hope I'm either signed to like a bigger label or have my own.
Oh, so you'd be interested in running your own label then?
In the end, yeah, but for now, not really, you know. But it would be cool. It would be cool to do it someday. You know, at some point, like try to give a platform to like younger, newer artists. So yeah.
Tell us about your new Spotify playlist launch that you've done.
Oh yeah, that's really exciting stuff. I have a playlist, or I have 4 playlists. They're all called Vibes. So we got just the Vibes playlist, which is pop one. There's a house one, there's a festival track one, and a chill one. So something for everyone. And I just try to get some friends of mine on there, or just people I know and I really appreciate their music. Try to give them a platform this way because I don't have my own label, you know. So
is it more mainstream songs on there, or is it people that you think, sort of like your own radio show, people you think deserve a bit more attention?
Exactly, it's more like that. And of course I fill it up with popular songs, but the main, like the base of the playlists are mainly people I know personally or friends of mine, or tracks I really like. And then definitely not all the most popular songs. Yeah, some of them are quite like underground as well. So.
All right, I'll make sure I'll send my tracks over to you.
Awesome. Sure, go for it.
Okay, so that wraps this up. Thank you very much, Sam, for coming on this show and being interviewed by just me today. We will get Jack on the show at some point. So just to sign off, tell everyone where they can find you. What social medias?
You can find me on Instagram. Mainly Instagram, so if you want to get in touch with me, Instagram is a way to go. Sam Helix Official. I'm on Facebook, Spotify, of course. Sam Helix, you will find me there. So yeah, those are the 3 main things.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Sam, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
Cheers, guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our next guest, so we will see you then. Bye.